Hello and welcome. In this tutorial I will explain a little bit about enum, and I will also explain about enum being flag attribute. And the second tutorial is really important that you watch because there's not much information in the internet about flag attributes on enum. However, it's one of the most powerful kind of enum you can develop when you need a set of enum values. So let's begin with the basic about enum. Enum is one kind of way to get pre-made data that you have declared in your project. So if I create a map here called enum, and I do that because I want all the enum to be in one place, and I add a class called perm, or let's call it permission dot class. I can do public here, and I can remove class declaration, and I can change that to enum instead. So this class is now enum. And here I can say the first permission is read, and that's equal to 1. The second one is write. Let's do big capital so it'll be easier for us. Read, write equal 2, delete equal 3, modify equal 4. So these pre-made permissions, read, write, delete, and modify, have an int value connected to them. So enum can derive from different values, or how we should say it, like the default, the enum is default derived with int. So basically what we don't see is this shit when we declare our enum. So it says public enum permission and it derives from int. That's why we can have it 1, 2, 3, 4 here. But it can also derive from byte. You can also derive from ubyte, or I mean s byte. You can also derive from uint if that suits your project, or long, or ulong. But most of the time you should not change the value here. You should always try to make it derive from int, because most of the developer are expecting it to derive from int. So the default behavior is that it derived from int, even though that you don't declare it here. It still derives from int. So now when we have an enum here with values, we can go to the program here, and we can say permissions. We need to have using. So using security permissions. Whoops, that's not the one I'm looking for. Oh, it's permission without S. So now say using enum YouTube enum, and it will be added here, above here. So here we can choose read, write, modify, delete. So it's pre-made values we make in our project. So for example, if we create another class now called add class get user permission dot c class, we make it public static public get perm permission get perm, and we take an int user ID, and we also make it public static public static class. Oh no, not public static class. Public permission. It needs the using above here, so we added the using here. Get perm, and then we just return. Since we don't have any database connected to this project, we just return a read. So if we go back to our main program here and say permission perm equal get user permission, and we're gonna use get perm, and we add just a random user ID. So now we will have the user permission here. What we can do with this is, for example, if perm equal permission. So we take the enum again and we say like read. Then we do console write down user have read perm. So let's start the project and check. So now we have a permission called read, and if read equal to permission read, it will write to the console. So easily saying, enum is it's a way to pre-make values in a project. So instead of writing it like a string and you have string everywhere in the project, you can use an enum for that. So every other programmer can reuse your code. So everyone will know what if they're gonna use read permission, they have to use a permission.read. If they're gonna check if the user have write permission, they're gonna do permission.write. So yeah, enum is a way to pre-make code in your project. In the next tutorial, I will explain how you can convert the enum int value and also how you can convert an int value to an enum. Thank you for watching and see you in the next tutorial.